years, only the US and British navies had the ability to launch Tomahawk cruise missiles. But thanks to China acting like it wants to take over the Pacific, Australia can fire them too. The HMAS Brisbane, a Royal Australian Navy Hobart-class destroyer, is taking part in what the RAN dubbed an interchangeability deployment. It's happening off the coast of California, and that's where the RAN joined the history books as one of 3 nations to launch a Tomahawk land attack cruise missile from a naval vessel, or launch one at all. The Tomahawk struck a land-based target, and in doing so, Australia's Deputy Prime Minister says it showed the strength of the alliance between the US and Australia and will also change the calculus for any potential aggressor so that no state will ever conclude the benefits of conflict outweigh the risks.
So what makes the Tomahawk so special? Well, for starters, its range. The powerful engine in the back and these wings means that the cruise missile can hit targets up to 1,000 miles away, probably further. 1,000 miles is just the published known range. And it has a fairly stealthy profile, and these wings help it fly extremely low, which means that the Tomahawk can avoid radar detection. They used advanced guidance systems here in the front, which, it has a stored database of what the ground is supposed to look like on its path, and then it, takes pictures of the ground and matches it in real time with its database, so it knows where it's going at all times. Also, they can get updated target information mid-flight and can loiter. So a Tomahawk can be fired, maybe the target that was in the area left, or maybe the Tomahawk is waiting for a target to come back. So it can just kind of loiter around, wait in the air, and then find a target and strike. Tomahawks can hit things on land or at sea, and they can carry a number of different warheads depending on the mission. Australia is buying 200 Tomahawks, which will of course be deployed on the Hobart-class destroyers, but also on Australia's nuclear-powered submarines, which have yet to be built, but are a part of the AUKUS defensive agreement between the US, the UK, and Australia. We've reported on AUKUS a bunch before, so if you want more details on that agreement, check out our archives, straightarrownews.com. Just search for the word AUKUS. While the club of Tomahawk-toting navies sits at 3 right now, it will soon include a 4th, Japan. The Japanese Self-Defense Force is going through plenty of its own changes because it also doesn't want to see China take over the Pacific. So among the many weapons procurements Japan signed of late is a deal to buy 400 Tomahawks. And the buildup in force by US allies is part of a coordinated effort to try and deter Chinese military action, or snuff it out if it comes to that. So let's take a look at how that strategy is playing out. Down in the southern Pacific, we have Australia. Like we said, they just purchased a bunch of Tomahawks. The Australian ground forces are also training regularly with their US counterparts. The Philippines also has some US armaments, plenty of US bases in the Philippines. It's called an aircraft carrier that you can't sink because of just all the different islands that make up the Philippines. Also Taiwan, there's Taiwan. Taiwan produces most of the world's microprocessors, so one of the reasons why China wants to reunify with Taiwan, other than historically considering it part of its own country, the technology that is produced on this small island powers things all over the world. Japan, like we said, also 400 Tomahawk missiles. So between all of these nations, South Korea obviously also is a US ally, but we can see kind of the pattern that the US is trying to create. So here's Australia, and then the Philippines, Taiwan, and the Japanese archipelago. So all of those nations and resources are working together to trap China in this first island chain. Backing all of that up is Guam, out here in the middle of the Pacific. It's a very small but strategically extremely important island. There is all sorts of US resources, US tech, space-based technology to monitor weapons systems and everything. There's obviously a lot of resources being put into the island of Guam as well, to just kind of back up and help coordinate any sort of attack that may come from China. By arming themselves to the teeth, U.S. allies in the Pacific are hoping to show the Chinese any fight they want to start isn't worth fighting. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Ryan Robertson. For more reporting like this, be sure to download the Straight Arrow News app today or log on to san.com.